let me begin with the free SHS story. The minority has been accused by the majority leader in Parliament for opposing the bill. And it says here, we have a story from ChannelOne.tv.com. The minority accused of opposing free SHS bill. The majority leader in Parliament, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, has accused the minority caucus of opposing the proposed free senior high school policy bill. The bill seeks to regulate the free SHS intervention by making it mandatory for future governments to sustain the policy. The leader of the majority group had earlier disclosed that the bill had received executive approval for it to be laid before the House by the Education Minister. Now, speaking to journalists in Parliament, Alexander Afenyo-Markin said the minority must provide reasons for its opposition to the bill. Now, we've heard the ranking member on education, MP for Akachi North, Peter Nochukotoi, strongly opposing the SHS bill, stating clearly the NDC doesn't want to commit itself to free SHS, and we want to enact a law to make it mandatory. We have stated time and time again that those provisional constitutions that talk about free speech are very aspirational provisions. So the way to go, or I think it meant to say free SHS, are very aspirational provisions. So the way to go is to enact a law to regulate the free SHS policy, which is currently in operation. I will leave it there at this point and begin with my guest in studio. So Manessa, let me start with you. Why is the majority leader saying that the minority is opposed to this? I don't understand it, because from other accounts it seems quite obvious that the challenge has been with the way it's been rolled out and not the policy itself. And they also agree to the fact that there has to be free SHS as it is.
Let me say a very good morning to you, and a very good morning to Sami and to our cherished viewers as well. And let me also extend my greetings to His Excellency the Vice President and the flag bearer of the new Patriotic Party, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, in whom we are confident that going into the December elections, Ghanaians will repose a lot of confidence in him for him to continue to implement the bold policies he is proffering to Ghanaians. On the issue of the free SHS, when you look at the trajectory of the story of the free SHS thus far, you would realize the clear intention of the NDC as it relates to this policy. Don't forget that when they were in power in 2016, even from 2012 to 2016, when the new Patriotic Party, by then we were in opposition, when we were raising a lot of, objections, when we were proffering our policy that we were going to roll out the free SHS policy to ensure that secondary education would be universal in this country. Everybody would have access to it, and it would not be predicated by revenues. It will not be the case that if you don't have money, you will not be able to access secondary education. Fast forward, when we came into power in 2017, we had a lot of opposition from the NDC. We mentioned that within the first 100 days, we are going to implement the free SHS policy. The NDC maintained that we will not be able to do this. And to the glory of God and to the benefit of Ghanaians, we were able to implement the policy. The reason why we are accusing the minority and the reason why we want to put forward, we want to ferry a bill to Parliament to ensure that we protect our future generation, the human capital development of this country, is that the NDC over the period has demonstrated their clear disinterest in the free SHS policy.
Really?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. The NDC indeed is a threat to the free SHS policy. The reason is that back then in opposition, even when we came into power and when we implemented the free secondary education, they sponsored 40 adverts against the free SHS policy.
Is that so?
Yes.
Okay.
They sponsored 40 adverts. They demonstrated several times against the free SHS policy. And you even have one of their MPs who went to court in 2018, Supreme Court. He took this same free SHS policy to the Supreme Court, raising objections about the implementation of the policy and the source of revenue as well. But the Supreme Court just threw his case away. And so when we look at the attitude and the behavior of the National Democratic Congress in relation to the free SHS policy, which over the period has yielded significant benefits to the Ghanaian people, it is only expedient for government in these times to ensure that we are able to ferry a bill to Parliament so that future governments would commit to this bill. The NDC is opposed to the free SHS because they want to just, in the unlikely event that they come to power in so many years, to come, they just want to cancel it, just as they did to the teacher training allowance, just as they did to the nursing training allowance. And so they do not want to commit to this policy. But you see, whether we like it or not, we need to be very serious as a country, and we need to be able to weigh the importance of education. Without education, we will not be able to move this country forward. And so in spite of the challenges, we in government are not saying the free SHS is perfect. We are not saying it is without, inefficiencies. But the very essence of the policy is to ensure that the ordinary Ghanaian child, those who have completed junior high school education, would have access to senior high school education, so that money will not be a barrier to education. Okay. And again, when you even go to most of our secondary schools, even in the hinterlands or in certain rural communities, aforetime the practice has been that it was very difficult for most of people in the rural communities to even get access to first class secondary schools. You mentioned of Prempeh College, Opoku High School, among others. Now, when you look at the free SHS policy and the significant gains it has made, especially in relation to schools in the secondary, children in the rural communities gaining access to prominent secondary schools, it is quite marvelous. Again, when you look at the free SHS results, you compare the WASSCE results in 2021, 2022, it is so outstanding to the extent that the performance far outweighs that of the NDC. Go and check the WASSCE performance for 2015, even 2009 if you want, to 2016, and compare the performance to that of 2021 and 2022. And so when it comes to investment in education, I think it is very expedient on every one of us. It doesn't matter. Education is not an issue that should be politicized.
But it has been.
Place. It has been, because when you look at the demonstration of the NDC over the period, they have demonstrated. Then we don't have short memory, as has been said of us, of the former president. The former president himself has said that if he has 2 billion, he will not even invest it in free SHS. Yeah, so it tells you time and over again that the NDC is not committed, and they don't want to commit themselves to this policy. That's how come, even before we bring the bill to Parliament, you'd have their ranking, in Parliament, criticizing the policy at every instance.
When you say
at every opportunity, the NDC criticizes
when you
this
say
policy.
We shouldn't politicize, but you already introduced into the realm of politics when you added to your manifesto. It just automatically becomes that.
The issue I'm making is that when it comes to investing in education,
yeah,
whether it is in our manifesto, whether it is in the manifesto of the NDC, I believe that at certain critical points, we should be able to come to a common ground.
I agree.
You see, to ensure that we are able to safeguard the future of this country. That is the very essence of it. And that's how come we are very confident, and we've already secured approval from Cabinet. And very soon we'll be ferrying this bill to Parliament to ensure that future governments are committed to this policy to ensure the sustainability of it, so that it will not be cancelled, as the NDC has demonstrated over the period.
So, Governor Abuja, in the Republic Press, the story here, NDC MPP lock horns over free SHS. I'll just read a portion of it. It says, however, and it's coming on the back of the things that Afeni Makina said. He said, however, Minority Chief Whip Kwame Abuja responded that the NDC would support any legislation aimed at making the free SHS program better and sustainable. What's wrong with that? He's the Chief Whip.
Right, so if the Chief Whip, you see, there is a contradictory element in this. The Chief Whip is saying this, and you have a ranking in Parliament raising objection to it. And you also have the former president himself making clear indication that as for him, when he has 2 billion, he will not invest it in free SHS. You see, the trajectory of the NDC as it relates to this free SHS policy is that everybody is aware that this is the brainchild of His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And the continuity of this policy
you
is
mean
very...
the implementation is his brainchild?
The implementation of free SHS.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, free SHS on it, whether the policy itself or its implementation.
The policy
no
itself
doubt.
was already
It was
an instruction in the Constitution.
Of course,
the direction
19
that
years
we're gonna
NDC
go.
was in power, they never implemented
Fair
it.
enough. I'm
Is
just
that not the
saying
case?
Yes.
That is why I'm saying that when it comes to the free SHS policy and its implementation, nobody can take it away from His Excellency the President.
Fair enough. Thank
What we want to do is to ensure that we are able to safeguard it so that any future government would continue with this policy and we will not experience cancellation in this policy to the detriment of the Ghanaian people.
All right, thank you. So, you've heard all the things that Manasseh has said. Sammy, what's your take on it?
Yes, thank you very much. Let me first of all say a good morning to our viewers, a good morning to my co-panelists Manasseh and your good self. I am happy to be here this morning to discuss this all-important topic, which has become a political hot potato in our Ghanaian politics. And it is important that when we discuss issues like this, we discuss it with utmost honesty. I'm saying it for a fact on this platform that the NDC has not demonstrated that they are opposed to the free SHS bill. Look, when you read Article 25B of our 1992 Constitution, it is written clearly that at a point in our life as a country, when we are able to underwrite all the difficulties, we must implement a progressive free SHS. Which party formulated the 1992 Constitution? It was the NDC when we were in power. So we had already thought about free SHS before the NPP woke up. So they are latecomers. They only happen to implement it in a shabby way that they have implemented it now. You see, the MPP has intentionally, politically, pitched free SHS or pitched the NDC against the people of Ghana as far as free SHS is concerned. And it has intentionally been done, okay, to save them from scrutiny. It has been done to shield them from the difficulties that the free SHS has been dogged with. And I can say it on authority, like I always say, that the free SHS promised by Nana Akufo-Addo was a political promise. He never intended to implement it strategically, efficiently to the benefit of the people of Ghana. And I'll tell you why. Do you know that as we speak, only about 10 billion Ghana cedis has been invested in free SHS? Okay. 10 billion out of over 1 trillion Ghana cedis that this MPP has had. When you do the computation, it is 0.08%. You cannot tell me that 0.08% of the monies that you have accrued is the reason why free SHS is suffering. The only reason why you say that is because you do not have an actual commitment to the implementation of free SHS. That's why we in the NDC have said, under John Dramani Mahama, that we, when we come through a consultative approach, free SHS will be reviewed. In fact, they themselves went to IMF in the heat of the debate about the DDEP and told IMF that they will review free SHS. When they told government, when they told IMF, did they mean that they will cancel free SHS? So they said, we said we'll review it, so it means we'll cancel it. They went to IMF and told them that they will review free SHS. So in MPP, review means that review. But in NDC, review means that cancel. What kind of paralysis of logic or argument is this? And so it is an agenda, okay, to prevent scrutiny. Who doesn't know that in this country, headmistresses, headmasters have even written letters to Ghana Education Service that they want to close down the school because there is no food?
Really? How
can you put school children in school and not give them food? How can you use 8 years, 8 good years, to solve double track? But you are blaming John Mahama for solving a major national power crisis. In only 3 years, he solved it. But you have used 8 years to put together blocks, sand, and more cement to build buildings, dormitories, and classroom blocks for children to come and sit in. You have used 8 years. So this is grotesque levels of incompetence under the MPP. Let me tell you, an NDC government will not implement such a shambolic free SHS. Look at all the things your mama has done in this country. State of the art. Beautiful. He will never do a shambolic policy like the free SHS these people have implemented.
Which of them? Okay, sorry, not to digress, but
no problem.
You said state of the art.
Yes.
Which ones are you referring to state of the art?
Look at all the interventions he has done. Look at our energy sector.
Okay.
He invested 1 billion Ghana cedis in Atuabo gas plant. What is Atuabo gas plant doing for Ghana? It is saving Ghana $300 million a year. Because of that, there was no doom. So he set up ESLA, which has today accrued 18 billion Ghana cedis for government. These people have collateralized that money, spent that money, and they have even borrowed extra 20 billion. Today, they don't have money to buy food. That's why we are doing so. So whatever John Mahama touches, it flourishes. That's why he has promised that through a consultative approach, free SHS will be made better. The reason why the MPP is saying that is because they are afraid to be scrutinized. After implementing such a shambolic policy, they want to pitch the NDC against the people of Ghana. Meanwhile, we have made several commitments to make free SHS better. Look at all the flagship policies they have implemented. Free SHS, shambolic. There was a time the children didn't even have food. They have spent 8 years to build dormitories and classroom block, when we were using only 2.5 years to solve a major power crisis. Look at 1D, 1F. Look at one village, one dam. They have all collapsed. Look at one constituency, 1 million. None of the flagship policies and the MPP have survived because they were only populist. They never had any genuine intention to make the country better. Look at how much they have borrowed. In the 8 years of NDC, John Mahama Mills, we only received 248 billion. They have received in excess of 1 trillion Ghana cedis, but they are unable to show the people of Ghana, sector by sector, what they have used their money for. Yeah, so today, if free SHS...
They're going to put together their documentaries.
No. What documentary? They have done trackers. It has all ended up disastrously. They even put in structures that are not there. Look at the tracker that they launched recently. They said, hold on. They said they have built 16 hospitals in Ashanti region. Only for us to know that 4 out of the 16 hospitals under Agenda 111 are at 0% completion. How do you put 0% completed hospitals on a tracker? What is 0%? When you go to the site, not even 1 block of cement is there, but they put it in their tracker. They put innovations or investments by old boys of Bishop Herman. They renovated a dormitory. They went and appropriated it. It was the government that did it. Meanwhile, it was the old boy that did it. So that tracker was full of lies. So they have done nothing. Look at the economy.
Well, if there's a few things that are
no.
accurate,
In fact, they themselves came and told us that they have put in 67 wrong images that are not theirs.
Yeah.
Yes. So if somebody puts out 67 images
out of thousands,
what thousands? These are clear incompetent people. They are running away from scrutiny. Look, under NDC, Ghana's secondary schools were the best in West Africa for 4 years. Do you know today we are not writing WASI? The standardized WASI that all West African countries were writing. You do know now under FSA they are not writing. They are writing GASI. You know GASI. Ghana secondary schools examination. So they themselves have cocooned themselves in a bubble of delusion and denial.
But WAEC would dispute what you're saying.
Why?
We are writing WASI.
We are writing GASI.
What is GASI?
Ghana secondary school certificate examination. They are not. No, hold on. They are not comparing.
No, you're just saying this. You're just saying this in jest. This is not accurate.
No. Look,
it's not accurate.
Speak to NDC's ranking member on the education committee in Parliament. They are not comparing themselves to the other West African countries.
I don't need to speak to them. I can speak to WAEC.
Yes, you can call WAEC.
And they're writing WASI.
I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Go and look into it. I'm saying the devil lies in the details.
Okay.
They are not comparing themselves to other West African country exams. We are writing as Ghana.
So WAEC Ghana.
Yes. That's what they are doing. In fact, they are even owing WAEC. WAEC came and told the whole country that this government is owing them billions of Ghana. They have not paid. Okay, so it is a point that we must make. He's saying that they have made significant investments in Ghana's education sector. When we came, we removed 2,000 schools under trees. Is there any investment on that? Children who were sitting under trees, we removed it. We built universities. Can you tell me one university they have brought? We built University of Health and Allied Sciences, University of Environment and Sustainable Development, University of Energy and Natural Resources. What universities have they built? When you go to University of Health and Allied, they have actually trained doctors. I have colleagues at Range Hospital who actually completed that university. Each and every day, they wake up and they thank and pray for the NDC. That is significant investment in the education sector. We converted polytechnics to universities. What investments have they done? Their investments have been dogged with serious corruption scandals. Look at the Wi-Fi issue. You gave 84 million Ghana cedis to a company for providing Wi-Fi when there are no even computers in the schools. And they have spent it and they have voted. Nobody has been accountable. Look at the tablet issue. They came and stood on a platform that they are sharing tablets. Meanwhile, the students themselves on a documentary.
No,
hold on.
If you say that there are no computers, but
how can you say
everybody has a smartphone?
The Wi-Fi's are not even there. That's the go and look at Fort Estate documentary. Go and look at it. Their investigation is there. The Wi-Fi are not even on the campuses.
Wait, so hold on. So you're saying that there's a claim that ABC campuses
they are saying
Wi-Fi.
that yes, but meanwhile,
but the actual fact
they don't have the Wi-Fi.
There's no Wi-Fi there.
There's not even they don't even have Wi-Fi there.
Yeah.
Look at the tablets. They said one school in Accra secondary something like that. They went there. There was a document. They went there. They saying they say they are sharing tablets. We have not received tablets. Meanwhile, monies have been paid. Look at the Wi-Fi issue. 84 million has been paid for no work done. Okay, so it is an agenda to shield difficulties in the sector so that the NDC will look back. Meanwhile, the constitution that actually informed the free SHS was done under NDC regime. So what is MPP talking about? When Akufo-Addo was in, hold on, let me make my final point. When Akufo-Addo was in opposition, he didn't even know the amount of money he would use in implementing free SHS. They asked him in an interview. He didn't know. He was bundling about figures, only for him to come and experience reality. So when the NDC criticized the free SHS and the implementation, it was because the knowledge on the implementation of free SHS in MPP executives and the flag bearer at the time himself, Akufo-Addo, was shallow. He didn't even know how to implement the policy. He didn't even know the strategies, the same way they did with 1D, 1F. They threw a pie chart.
Wrap it up for me.
They threw a pie chart around the country, wrote things they wanted to write. When they came into power, they have experienced the reality. So the free NDC will go every mile to make sure that the free SHS policy is done with remarkable brilliance. Is done to achieve the intended
purposes. As you are touting your
while we do not lower
things now. No, I hope you know that this is being recorded.
There is
in the
no doubt.
minds
Look,
all Ghanaians.
Look at all the things your mama has done.
And you,
they all come.
You,
with,
Dr. Aye.
No, hold on. Look, hold on.
I will remind you.
I'm saying that. Look at all the things. Yes, the why be done. And your friend is saying, I am wafu. Your mama why be done. Look at all the things he did in this country. Hospitals, when you see them, you'll be happy. It's like you are in London or you are in the US.
Really?
Airports, go there. Where? Universities, go there. What are you talking about?
All right.
So it's there for all to see.
Yeah.
So they are afraid that when John Mahama comes, he will make free SHS beautiful.
Okay.
That is why they are pitching.
That's why they say that.
Yes, against the people of Ghana. Other than that, what is
okay? So when I say,
yes, many thanks for the opportunity. I am just taken aback by the submissions of Sami. And he himself mentioned, he said that an NDC government will never implement such shambolic free SHS policy. I want Sami to know that this same policy he is calling shambolic is that kind of policy that has ensured that we are able to increase the enrollment from 800,000 to 1.4 million. 1.4 million Ghanaians are benefiting from the policy. Today we have a lot of people who hitherto would have been on the streets selling dog chains. Okay? Who would have been on the streets doing a lot of unproductive activities, young people. And so we are proud that we've been able to implement this. And you see, you should be ashamed of yourself. The NDC should bow their heads in shame. Why do I say this? He mentioned that, yes, it was the NDC that drafted the 1992 Constitution. Very true. It was the NDC that included in Section 25 and 38 that relates to, free education. Very true. Then we asked the question, so why didn't you implement this in 19 years of being in power? The NDC should be ashamed of themselves. You put this in the Constitution, you come into power, implement it, you sit down aloof. Another party comes, they implement it, and now you are raising up there, this is shambolic. We are happy that we've implemented this, and a lot of young people are benefiting.
But
as to whether it's a shambolic or not, it lies in the hands of Ghanaians to pass such judgments.
But I think to be fair to Ghanaians, there's been a lot of challenges, or let me say there have been some challenges with the rollout of free SHS.
You see, I have mentioned that there is no policy in this world that is sacrosanct. There is no policy that is without challenges. Okay, so the free SHS, just like any other government policies across the world, would have its own challenges.
Okay.
But for us in government, when we were rolling out this policy, we decided to open it to ensure that Ghanaians everywhere in this country would have access to secondary education, so that the minimum level of educational qualification will not be just class 6 or even JHS, but it will be secondary school. And so we are happy that we have done this, and we will continue to do more. NDC should be ashamed. They've disgraced themselves. Sami has implicated himself and his party, because for you to mention, because he mentioned that, yes, they drafted the 1992 Constitution. That is true. Hold on. Yes, that is common knowledge, trite knowledge, very true. And he mentioned again that they included that in the Constitution. That is true. So if you draft a Constitution and you add that secondary education should be free, tertiary and vocational education, TVET should be free, and you don't do it, and you have another party coming into government, and he does it, instead of raising constructive criticisms about it, you only sit back and you say, this is this, this is that. And Sami is only confirming the position of the former president.
Which is what?
He himself has alluded to the fact that if he has 2 billion, he will not invest in this. Sami is confirming what they have done in the past by running 40 adverts against this free SHS. And Ghanaians are watching you. Ghanaians will not fall for these lies. Ghanaians will not fall for these frivolous, adjectives you are using on this. Ghanaians are concerned about the future education of their children. And so they very much appreciate the NPP government for rolling out this policy in spite of its challenges. For the ordinary Ghanaian, what they are looking at is that, one, when you are assessing secondary education, you will not pay school fees, you will not pay for feeding, boarding fees, amongst others. Hitherto, we had a lot of Ghanaian parents rushing to the house of members of parliament, chiefs, people who are well-to-do in various communities to beg for funds to pay their school fees. Today, we don't experience that. So you see, for us, we are very much happy that we have done this, and we will continue to do more. Of course, every policy is with challenges, and we are looking at ways to improve on the policy. But as for the NDC, I have said time and over again that they are not committed to it. They have demonstrated, their flag bearer has demonstrated, their people in parliament have demonstrated, Sami here has demonstrated that they will not implement any free SHS. And he calls it shambolic. That is not for him to decide.
That's not what he said.
That is not.
That's actually not what he said.
I wrote what he said. An NDC government will never implement a shambolic free SHS like we have done. Like we have done. And I am saying that. I wrote what you said at first.
So he said, okay, so the adjective there is shambolic.
Yes.
Which means it doesn't mean that it will not be implemented. It means it will not be implemented in a certain way.
Simple. We're simple English. It's not a big deal.
You see, Sami cannot outsmart Ghanaians.
Okay.
Sami is only confirming the strong position of the NDC. Okay? And we know which is that they don't like the free SHS. They cannot commit to it because their intention is that when they come, they would like to kick it out. When their presidential candidate has already made a statement that when he has 2 billion, he will not invest in free SHS. What do you expect Sami to come and sit here and say?
Okay.
You don't expect him to say anything different. And on the issue of the WASI,
you
see, Sami, we need to be truthful to our viewers when we make certain statements. Okay, so for you to say that Ghana is writing Ghana something is not true. And for your notice, Ghana is not the first country within the WASI space to write the exam at different schedules. Okay, if a country undergoes certain challenges and they decide that they would write the exam at different schedules, WAEC has that provision. And it's the same WAEC exam that is being written, and so you cannot make any statements. It is an exam that is set by WAEC.
Okay.
If a country decides they want to write on a different date, that is allowed.
Yeah, but you know
within the standards of WAEC.
But you know the inherent problem in what you're saying, right? It means that if I have Nigerian friends and they are writing the same exam as you claim is the same exam, I will have the past questions before, if they write ahead of time.
And who tells you that WAEC, are you aware that WAEC, so today, let's say if WAEC is writing core maths today, are you aware that they set different questions? Sometimes 3 or 4 different sets of questions. They decide in the morning which one they are going to use. The point I am making, is that Ghana is still under the WAEC agreement.
Yeah, which I agree.
Of course, and so
if
we decide to write our exam in a different schedule as per the exigencies of our time, it doesn't mean we are not doing WAEC. And the authorities in Ghana do not set the questions. Okay? It is a standardized question being set by WAEC. We should be circumspect in the way we address this channel.
This is on citynewsroom.com. Let me just read this to you. The minority denies opposition to the free SHS bills, calls for educational reforms. Now, the minority caucus has clarified its stance on the free senior high school SHS bill, emphasizing, then this also emphasizing for you to note, emphasizing that they are not opposed to the initiative. Instead, they are urging the government to address existing challenges in the educational sector. This comes after the majority leader, Alexander Afenyomakin, accused the minority caucus of opposing the proposed bill on free SHS policy. Now, the bill aims, and he goes on to explain further what the bill aims at. He said, however, in an interview with Umaru Sanda Amadou on Eyewitness News on City FM, the deputy ranking member on Parliament's Education Committee, Dr. Clement Apak, indicated that while the bill had not yet been laid before the House, the minority had pledged their commitment to it. Okay, so he's saying here clearly that they are actually committed to the bill coming in. They will look at it, and then he says, we in the NDC have never been opposed to the free SHS. So I fail to understand why the MPP and now the majority leader are trying to revive the still dead and rejected propaganda message used against the NDC. We have not said at anywhere, any day, or any time. We have not said that at any day, anywhere, any day, or any time. So, please, your final thoughts on this so that we can make progress.
My final thoughts is that, you see, the leader of the NDC, former President Mahama himself, has been clear that for him, he doesn't believe in the free SHS. If he has 2 billion, he will not invest it in the free SHS. Very quickly, Sami made a very funny statement when he mentioned that the free SHS was just a campaign promise by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the MPP never sought to implement it.
I said you people never sought to implement it efficiently. When I speak, listen.
Sami, I wrote what you said. You didn't add efficiently. You see, whether you like it or not, you see, Sami, whether you like it or not, I have mentioned that policies are not without inefficiencies. There is no policy in this world today that you implement which would have 100% success.
So when you implement the policy,
so every policy is subject
to
review.
When you implement the
Sami,
policy,
hold on.
Okay,
the point I want to make is that the MPP, even when we were in opposition as far back as in 2014, 2015, 2016, we were clear in our minds and in our thoughts as to how we were going to roll out this free SHS policy. And so you cannot claim that this was only a political promise. Yes, it was a political promise, but we have implemented it. Today, it is yielding gains.
All right, thank you.
For us.
Thank
and
you.
we are very happy and proud that we've been able to do this to ensure that we are able to raise the level of education for the ordinary Ghanaian.
All right, so there's an interesting article here on the Daily Guide Network, and it says here, I can't read the whole thing, so just a bit of it. Despite what some MPP executives have described as mere rhetoric, Mr. Mahama indicated that the next NDC government will hold a stakeholder consultative engagement to discuss the challenges facing the educational sector in general, with particular emphasis on improving the implementation of the free SHS policy. This stakeholder engagement will discuss basic, secondary, and tertiary, but with emphasis on improving the implementation of the free SHS policy, I quote. Through this stakeholder dialogue, we will collectively devise strategies to improve the program, he added.
Senior.
Yes.
The debate is simple. When you implement a policy, it is subject to interactions, it is subject to debate and scrutiny. When MPP implemented free SHS, are we not in this country where headmasters, headmistresses who criticized free SHS were removed and transferred from their secondary schools?
How many years ago was it? But it happened. Somebody actually.
It happened.
A good friend of mine actually reached out
and so
to me.
when I tell you that
had
it was
been
a
removed.
political promise, it was a populist promise to
Somewhere
get
in
votes.
Labadi,
It has
I
been
think.
implemented.
No.
It has been
Please,
Let him
implemented.
finish. Let him finish.
So they hurriedly implemented it without even thinking about the difficulties and how to mitigate them. How come a headmaster or headmistress who is in a school, who knows the difficulties of the program, voices out the concern and you transfer the person? So who should come and face the problem? So there was no genuine intention to make the program better. That's why I told you that if you invest 8 billion Ghana cedis out of 1 trillion in a policy, which pales into 0.08%, pales into insignificant, you cannot tell me that the difficulties we are facing is because there is no money. You have more than enough money to make free SHS better. The reason why it is where we are today is because there is no actual commitment to making the policy better. And I can tell you, if Manasseh doesn't know, in 2015, free SHS policy was initiated for day students and the NDC. During that time, 320,000 students benefited. There was, yes, let me read to you Atuforce's statement when he read it on the floor of Parliament. 320,000 day students benefited, and there was plan to rope in extra 120,000 boarding students. And so before MPP came, something was being done. That's why I'm telling you that when NDC takes a policy, they think through it. We are not as populist as MPP. We will not initiate a policy, and the policy will end up disastrously like the way it has ended up now. Now, let me tell you, Manasseh, you are saying that because free SHS enrollment has increased. Look, SHS enrollment is a function of population growth. Let me read to you, my senior brother. I have a document here spelling out percentage increments each and every year from 2013. So from 2013, SHS enrollment increased by 68.5%. 2014, it increased by 64.18%. 2015, it increased by 67.1%. 2016, it increased by 67.16%. 2017, when MPP came, it increased, it even decreased. Because in 2015, it was 67.1. 2017, it decreased to 66.3. 2018, it increased to 67.7. 2019, 70.6. 2020, 73. 2021, 75. 2022,
so this
70.
is a percentage of the population, or
SHS enrollment,
yes,
year on. So without, before free SHS came, SHS enrollment was generally increasing. So the increment under free SHS is not really something new. Under Professor Mills, when the SHS years increased from 3 years to 4 years and all that, there was increment. Why didn't you do double track? Because within a matter of 6 months,
okay,
dormitories and classroom blocks were erected in a matter of 6 months to prevent a double track. That is an NDC regime. These people have taken 8 years to deal with double track. That's why I'm telling you that they are deliberately incompetent. They have no commitment to free SHS. And so all the claims they are making are completely baseless. Atuforce has read it on the floor of Parliament. We NDC support a free SHS. We support a bill that will make free SHS better. In fact, I told you earlier that when they went to IMF, they told IMF that they will review free SHS. Didn't they tell IMF they will review? So their review was a cancellation. So all the claims are completely baseless. Manasseh shouldn't be making claims that are false. You are forcing
which claims?
You are forcing
which claims?
You are forcing to make viewers understand that
which claims?
it's against free SHS. Meanwhile,
Which
we have said
claims?
it.
You have
countless
demonstrated
times
that
already.
already.
he's not the only one saying it. The majority leader on the floor of
demonstrated
Parliament.
that
is saying
Majority leader said it on the floor of Parliament when the bill had not even been introduced to Parliament. How can you debate on a bill that is not in Parliament? So that's what I'm telling you.
How can you also go out and you have your ranking?
Hold on.
Attacking the bill.
No.
How can you have that?
Okay,
The
guys.
bill was not attacked. The ranking are clarified in that. We in the NDC will support any bill that is tabled before Parliament. So the argument is straightforward. Before free SHS scheme, SHS enrollment was increasing on an annual basis. It wasn't because, you see, Ghana, the difficulty is accessible. That's why when we were in power, we built a lot of community day schools because not everyone can go to boarding school. We built many of them. Today, those schools are serving the people of Ghana. You see, when Muhammad dreams, what he would dream about, Akufo-Addo cannot even implement it because it is too big for him to comprehend and understand. We saw this long ago. We saw this long ago. Okay, before the MPP came, we had seen that SHS will be progressive and will be progressively implemented. That's why it started from day students to the community day school. So what is MPP talking about? They are latecomers when it comes to education. They know next to nothing about education sector investment. We started doing it before they even started to campaign in 2016. So please, they should spare us the propaganda. We are tired.
Okay.